What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Can We Talk? This is your boy Eric. I'm here with the usual suspects, Anthony, Shayna, and we have a special guest coming in. They'll be here fairly soon. But Shayna, what's going on with you? What's happening?
Not much.
How was your week?
It's pretty good.
My week was okay until that whole Mueller report thing came out. What'd you think about it? How'd you feel?
I feel like the news stations wasted a lot of time, with the whole Russia thing.
Yeah.
And now that the Mueller report says
right, because we don't know what it says.
No
right?
collusion. Now, what are they going to report about? I feel like a lot of the news outlets, instead of reporting on actual issues, they spent a lot of time, alleging certain things and, making speculations in regards to the Mueller report that a lot of the issues went overlooked.
Yeah. I mean, but honestly, we don't know what's in the report until it's released. So at this point, we have a summary from Attorney General William Barr, which basically is like a 4-page brief summary of what's in it. So he could have been selective with the stuff he added. Mm-hmm. So it could be more, damaging than we think. At this point, they're waiting. I think Republicans and Democrats are both calling for an open release of everything. So the whole report, which I think is about close to 300 pages.
Are you going to read that?
I'm not going to read all 300 pages. I'm waiting for somebody else to read it.
and then I'll give you a synopsis.
And then we'll talk about it because I don't got time to read through 300 pages. But I think people's overreaction to the whole situation is something I agree with you with. I think that media kind of sensationalized it a little bit. We should have waited for more of the evidence to come out before we started to sort of jump to conclusions. But again, that doesn't mean he's not guilty of doing something. I think they're still waiting for like the Southern District of New York to have some type of investigation they're doing that's related. And so that could be more damaging and damning than I think we realize. But overall, I'm like, I was disappointed, but I'm like, whatever. I'm used to law enforcement not really fulfilling things, right? So at that point, I was like, whatever, it is what it is. Let me just focus on stuff that actually matters, and that's life, work, all that other stuff.
Y'all talking about Jussie?
No, we talking about the Mueller report. But we can touch on.
What's up, y'all? I'm back.
But speaking of Jussie, what did y'all think? What truly happened? I don't know what's going on with this whole situation.
I think that the Chicago PD fucked up so bad they had to drop the charges.
I think I agree with you. I think they may have released some evidence that they shouldn't have, or they tainted some evidence. Who knows? But their whole just handling the investigation period was sloppy.
Yes. And
Chicago PD is known for doing that.
Yes.
So who knows if he's guilty? Who knows if he's innocent? I just know that he's off. Right? He got his charges dropped, so we really never know.
And I would rather that than the overcharging that they did.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Because it happens too often. Like even looking at Kwame Kilpatrick, he has some issues in terms of like stealing money, some corruption. But they gave him 23 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave my man, Paul Manafort, 7 years, 8 years? He did worse crimes?
He did worse.
Right? So it shows you there's injustices within just sentencing. So I'm glad that he was able to at least get off again. I don't know if he's innocent or guilty of anything. Who knows? Yeah. But it was dropped, so.
Okay. So, I want us to hop into the topic, but there is something for the hip-hop corner that I think we should, at least touch on. Cardi B scandal.
Oh, yeah.
I'm seeing memes on Facebook like surviving Cardi B, and
what do y'all think? I mean,
that's what equality is, though. I mean, if we're gonna drag the male entertainers, from what I gathered, she had an earlier video when she was an Instagram star where she said she drugged men,
stole their money,
robbed them, and what else?
Like stole their money, and then she had another one where she. Was saying as a revenge to get back at if somebody that cheats on you, you have sex with a tranny.
Okay. I mean,
you know what?
Part of me is like, man, this is kind of coming out because she's blowing up right now.
Right.
Like, that's not fair. But I mean, if this is true, this is.
But I don't like how her apology attributes it to the quote unquote culture, because there are plenty of people that don't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think her
Like,
situation.
and they always try to attribute any type of degenerate behavior to, oh, that's not a part of hip hop culture. Drugging people and robbing them is not a part of the culture.
Not at all.
It isn't.
I don't know what she. It may be more common than we think, though. I mean,
Well, one person did come out, but it was revealed that he was lying.
Yeah, I'm like,
No.
this doesn't even sound right. Like, she stole an iPod.
so
Why do you have that? I mean, I have
Yeah.
one, but I, like,
Right. So it's a lot of he said, she said. So we don't really know what the truth
I
is.
think
I
she
guess.
made it up.
Why would she do that though?
I don't
wanna
know. I
taint
think
her
she
im-
made that up to, try to, I guess, be like, oh, you don't know what I had to do. This is what I had to do.
Be controversial.
But why? She's winning right now. She doesn't need.
This
to.
was
This is back in the
before.
day,
This
though.
was
Oh,
before.
okay.
This
Like-
might have been like in between the time she was on Love and Hip Hop, in between she started, making music. And she was like, I worked hard, and like that, and that was one of the things that she did to work hard. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, she was a controversial Instagram star. I mean, like, that's how she kind of got her popularity. She was controversial.
Yeah, she did come out of nowhere though. I know she was on Love and Hip Hop and stuff, but I'm like, she blew up. She had some way more success than other Love and Hip Hop stars.
yeah.
And I mean, good for her. But again, the means of getting there, I don't quite believe what she was doing. But
All right.
neither here nor there. So should we move into the main topic? We have a really good conversation today.
Let's
we're gonna
do
have.
this.
So last week I proposed an idea of us breaking down our top 20 favorite movies of all time. We realized 20 was a lot. I think it was like 20 or
them.
25.
25.
For them.
Right. 25 was a lot for me.
Anthony has his list ready.
So we was like, let's narrow this down to 10 to 15.
10
I
to
got
15.
15 right now.
15. And that was hard.
It was hard. I got a lot of favorite movies. So we're gonna go from 15 down to number 1, which is our favorite. Who wants to start? Who wants to begin this? Do
So are we
should-
going to go like 15 and then go like that, or are we just going to go, each person goes down their list?
No, let's go.
Let's go one by one.
Let's go one by one,
One by
yeah.
one.
So let's hit that bell. Let's get into it. Who wants to
All
start?
Thanks. Number 15 on my list is Friday.
Okay. All right. That's on my list.
Okay.
Okay.
Same here.
All right, so since we're merging here, what number is on your list? I mean, we could still go around at the same time, but
Yeah, I put number 9.
number 9.
Yeah.
Number 9 is actually number 11.
Okay.
So we're close.
All right, close. Friday, it's a classic to me. It's a movie I snuck and watched when I was younger. It spoke to me because I didn't see many comedies that really spoke to me when I was younger, and that fit in that category. Star-making role for Chris Tucker,
Yeah.
legendary one-liners, Faison Love, Ice Cube, who was behind the scenes and co-wrote it and was actually part of the production team on that film. F. Gary Gray's first movie, it's just it's just amazing.
I definitely agree. I think the one
Yes.
thing that makes a good movie good is quotability. Like you
Yes.
can quote that. You could quote multiple things within that movie.
But not only do people quote Friday, people know the whole script.
They know the whole script. Yeah, that's true. So I'm surprised you put it at 15. I thought it'd be a little bit.
Listen, man, I tried my best. The films that are before this, they deserve that spot. It's just personal favoritism.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. So I can. Yeah, and you're the cinephile. So
Yeah.
you
Well,
got this.
It's just subjective right here. These
That's
lists
true.
are subjective.
So I guess I'll go. My number 15 is Whiplash. So
Okay.
Whiplash
Movie's
starring
awesome.
Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons. Essentially about a young musician who's trying to make his way as a drummer. His instructor is this crazy guy. This man is just nuts.
One of
Played
the
by
best-
J.K.
One of the
J.K.
best
Simmons.
villains of all time.
Seriously. And being a musician myself, I definitely felt a connection to it. I definitely loved just the script. I loved everything about this movie. I didn't put it as low on the list because I felt that it was there was parts where it could have been better, but I mean it's a solid movie. One of my top 15 favorites.
Okay. My 15 is Black Dynamite.
Okay.
Black Dynamite. That's how a spoof is supposed to be done.
Yeah.
I think Michael Jai White did a good job. Adrian Young did a fantastical job with the music
Yeah.
in that film. So that's my number 15. They had the spin-off cartoon.
I still
you
got to
know
check
what I'm
that one
saying?
out,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too. I gotta see it.
but I have heard good things about it.
So that's my number 15.
So what you just said, was that your 11 or?
Also, no, that was my 15th.
Okay, so everybody has 15.
Yeah, we have our 15 in.
All right, perfect. I got a guest coming, but he'll just play catch up.
All right, cool. Anything want to add about the 15 that y'all think is important to talk about your movie? Or
It's difficult.
I thought I thought Whiplash would have been on my list because I love Whiplash, but like I said, I really thought about this list long and hard. I really wanted it on
Did
there.
you guys notice any patterns with your list? Like, do you have multiple movies with the same director, same actors?
not necessarily. I feel like a lot of my stuff was more so 90s, 2000-ish, because again, that's when I grew up.
It's nuanced to what I like. I mean, I do have 1 or 2 movies by the same director, but it's not like that the whole list.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to start with 14.
Okay.
I put this at 14 because it's a classic, but it goes a little too long. Titanic.
Okay.
Titanic is classic.
Titanic as 14th. Everyone
Don't
knows
take
the
this
story.
shot.
Oh, we didn't take the shot.
He said,
Oh, y'all got to take y'all shot. All right.
All right.
Everybody loves Titanic. Everyone knows the story of Titanic. Leo DiCaprio,
Did you
Kate
cry
Winslet.
when Jack died?
I was sad. I was just mad that again she could have saved my man. Like Jack, he could have literally fit on that little plank, but she
but
played
like,
him.
who would have held it up though?
So they would have floated along the
Now
the
this
ocean.
was back when like movies took a year to come out,
Yeah.
so I saw it multiple times at the movie theater.
Yeah. Again, I put it at 14 because I still think it's too long. They could have cut some of these scenes out, but it's a classic. It's one of those that you're probably gonna think of immediately especially in our generation. That's like one that you point like, all right, Titanic is the one that blockbuster, that first real big blockbuster that was ever out.
James Cameron was against the odds on that one because that movie cost a lot to make.
It did.
And when it first came out, it didn't really sell. Like it was like later on in the months that it became a box office hit.
Yeah. Took some time.
Yeah.
Who wants to go?
Oh, my number 14 is Lucky Number 11.
It's a very good movie.
That is a good one. Yeah, I didn't think about putting it
Every
on my
time
list.
I watch it, it's like I've never seen it before. Like I'm like, oh my god, the twist! But I know the twist.
It's a nice
I
writing
should have
too.
put that on my list. I didn't think about that.
So
It's
what
a solid one.
So that's it. That's why you like it because of the twist. Or?
I like it because I like the twist. I like Josh Hartnett. He doesn't do a lot of movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
does.
He doesn't do a lot of movies.
He's on Penny Dreadful.
He is. They had an all-star cast. Ben Kingsley, Morgan Freeman, Bruce Willis, Lucy Liu.
Yeah, that was solid for sure.
Very solid movie. I got a classic at number 14. I thought I would put it higher, but like I said, it deserves a spot. 14, I got Casino.
Okay,
That's
that's
a good
on
one.
my list. That's my number 12.
I didn't put it on my list, but that's a
on
good
my
one.
that's my
I
12.
agree.
One of Scorsese, the goats of filmmaking, one of his best films. Basically, Goodfellas in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Joe Pesci playing another volatile role. Robert De Niro plays the straight man this time around. Sharon Stone,
She did her motherfucking thing in that movie. She did.
Sharon Stone was amazing. Again, another all-star cast. Don Rickles killed it. Everybody killed it. Yeah, it's a classic, man. I ain't got to say much about that
That's
one.
my number 12.
Oh, yeah, number 12. Okay. All right. 13. Who wants to start?
You can start with Anthony.
I'll start. Number 13 to me is Memento.
Okay.
So Christopher Nolan, this is one of his films, pre The Dark Knight, by the man played by Guy Pearce, who has he remembers his wife being murdered, but after that he doesn't remember much else because he had a head injury, so he's trying to find the man who murdered his wife. The film goes in reverse.
Yeah.
So the way Christopher Nolan made it was just legendary. It's based off a story written by his brother Jonathan Nolan, who co-created Westworld. Everything about this movie just connects to me. Just the writing, the directing is very inspiring. Have y'all seen it?
Yes.
I have, yep.
Okay, yeah, it's a classic movie, man. So I got Memento.
Awesome. Shayna?
My number 13 is the remake of Imitation of Life.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't see that one. No.
The second version, I think it came out in the 1950s. The initial version came out in the 30s.
So
I've never seen it in its entirety.
was this with the white mother or the black mother?
This is the one with the black mother with the biracial daughter who could pass.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it in its full entirety.
I love that.
I heard it's good, though.
Yeah, it's a very good movie.
For sure. All right. Anthony's going to be mad at me for this one. Number 13, The Shining.
Shining's dope.
Yeah.
You know.
I know you like. I'm sure you wanted me to have it in the top 10, but 13
Well,
was kind of where I put
like
it.
this is nuanced here, so like it's up to you.
Yeah, and so just a scary, terrifying movie. I mean, Jack Nicholson did his thing. Shelley Duvall. Yeah, I definitely probably one of the top horror movies that I've seen. I just had other things I kind of liked that I put ahead of it. Again, it's subjective, like we said.
Yeah.
There's some things I like a little bit better, but again, this is solid. This is my one of my favorite horror movies. Yeah.
The thing about Stanley Kubrick, though, is that he was such an abusive director, especially to Shelley Duvall. Like, he made people on set, like, not talk to her and put her in a frightened space.
Oh,
So,
wow.
like, when you see her, like, she's really, like, anxious and stuff. Like, it's one of those things about, like, a genius director being an asshole, like Hitchcock.
Yeah.
But the film is great. I'll give you that. It's just, like, Kubrick was just such a, like, authoritative, like, filmmaker.
He tried to get the most out of his actor, right?
Yeah.
You gotta put them in situations where, it makes them uncomfortable because it's gonna bring more to the character. So I understand that.
Yeah. I understand it. I just don't approve of it, but I understand it.
Okay.
So where we at? We at 12?
Oh, it's 12.
Okay.
I'll start. Number 12, Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Okay.
Forrest Gump is I watched it all the time growing up. I just loved his character. Obviously, he had mental issues. He had some type of disability that was never kind of recognized or described.
He was just slow.
He was a little slow.
Simple-minded,
But
like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, but even though he was simple-minded, a little slow, the things that he was able to do in his life was kind of amazing. Like, this guy played football for Alabama. Like, so he got to see all these things. He ran across the country. And just his relationship with Jenny was kind of my favorite sort of relationship that showed the complexity of sort of, him being this open-minded, kind of slow individual, but he saw the best in people. And then Jenny was like going down this dark path, but even then he was like, I still love you regardless, right? So yeah, put it at 12, outside of the top 10, but again, it's very, very good film.
My number 12 was already mentioned, Casino.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anthony, what you doing?
What do you love about Casino, you personally?
I like the acting. Like, I love Sharon Stone in that movie.
Yeah, she did do her thing.
She did her thing in that
agree.
movie. It's actually, I have 3 mom movies on my list.
Yeah.
It's the first one. But yeah, I love Casino. I just remember just the first time I watched it. Was about, I want to say 2006 was the first time I saw it, and I just instantly fell in love with it. And I was like, I have to own this movie, and I watched it quite a bit. So
I feel like that movie's like a novel in cinematic form. Just a long epic story, which is something Scorsese is great at when making mob films. Okay, so I guess I'm next.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so 11, I got Boogie Nights.
okay.
Oh man, listen, man.
That's a good one, yeah.
Paul Thomas Anderson, man. I thought y'all wasn't gonna know this one.
Yeah.
Paul Thomas Anderson, man. He's one of my favorite directors. Probably my favorite director. So if you don't know about this film is set in the 1970s, and it's about a man who's an aspiring porn star, taken under the wing of Burt Reynolds, who runs like a porn studio. And there's kind of like a father-son dynamic there. There's the way the 1970s are like accurately depicted. Yeah. You got Marky Mark, you got Don Cheadle, you got Julianne Moore, Philip Seymour Hoffman when he was first like getting his shine, John C. Reilly, William H. Macy. Just this whole cast is just phenomenal. You got Nicole Ari Parker. It's just a great movie to me because it goes fast like a Scorsese movie. This was before Paul Thomas Anderson found his own voice as a director. So yeah, I just love Boogie Nights, man.
Awesome. Yeah, I put for number 11, Do the Right Thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's my number 2.
Yeah, so Do the Right Thing for me was one of those things where one of those movies where the racial tension in that was so well depicted, right? It was just like this New York, was it Bronx or Brooklyn?
I think it was Brooklyn. It was Brooklyn. It was definitely Brooklyn.
It's like this Brooklyn streets. You have this sort of mix of people, Italians, blacks, Hispanics, Dominicans, whatever. This group of people who are kind of forced to live with each other. It's hot. And then now you have this sort of one event that sparks this whole, racial debate, racial tension. And Spike Lee did an amazing job. He should have won something for that. Yes. But again, he was kind of new.
I feel like they gave him a award for Black Klansman to make up for that.
I agree. But I would say Spike Lee, that was when he truly solidified himself as one of the top 5-10 directors out there. Yep.
Very good.
Yep, Shane.
My 11 was already mentioned. Friday.
Okay.
Super quotable movie.
Okay. So we're down to the top 10.
Top 10.
Before we go into the top 10, what made these 10 movies your personal favorites?
Repeatability, impact, influence. I don't know, man. It's just you know, it's in my right breast, man. It's in my heart. In my heart.
Initial impact on me
Yeah.
is what made my top 10. And like he said, like the ability to watch the movie again and then it not be old.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's some of the similar stuff too. Like I chose these movies based off of, again, personal experience growing up and just watching the films and enjoying it. And then as I get older, seeing it from a different perspective and still like getting more out of it, right? Seeing the different context and the nuance within it. It makes it unique and it makes it a good, solid film. Because again, at 9 or 10 years old, when I'm watching a movie, in the late 90s, I don't truly understand everything that's depicted. But now when I'm, 28, 29, I can understand and sort of grasp these concepts. So,
yeah, and these are movies that, get better with time, too. Like, when you're younger, you know what I mean? You don't really understand what you're watching.
Right.
But as you get older, like Friday, I just love the simplicity of it. Like, it just takes place in a day. And, he learns lessons as well. John Witherspoon, I love that scene between him and Ice Cube. He's like, look, what happened to the days when you use your fist?
Right.
Now you got to grab a gun.
Yeah.
And Ice Cube was like, Dad, I need this for protection. You don't need that for protection.
Right.
And it's just like you learn lessons for some of these films, you know?
I agree. Who wants to start? This is a big one.
These are the big ones. You want to start? Y'all want to start?
My number 10 is Higher Learning.
It's a good one. Very good one.
Oh, that's really good.
Higher Learning. I saw this at the movies. Telling my age a little bit. but yeah, the initial impact on me, and then as I got older, I picked up on minor things, like one of the last scenes of the movie where Remy and Omar Epps' character, when Omar Epps' character was running down the stairs and the police just immediately were aggressive with him, beat him up. But when the cops approached Remy, which is Michael Rappaport's character, they were sympathetic. Oh, you can still be an engineer. Right. Stuff like that.
Right.
The more I watched it, the more I learned, the more I saw the subtle messages.
I still view Michael Rappaport as
Remy.
a Nazi. Yeah, right. It's a neo-Nazi kid. Like I can't get it out of my head.
Given the right role, he's pretty good. I like Michael Rappaport's humor.
Yeah.
John Singleton, man, his films in the 90s just made him like an authoritative voice in film.
Yeah.
Boys in the Hood, Higher Learning, Poetic Justice, Baby Boy in the, I want to say late 90s,
right.
early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
Speaking of John Singleton, I chose Boys in the Hood.
Okay.
Number
That's
10.
my number 2.
Oh, Boys in the Hood was one of those movies that anyone living in the hood needs to watch, right?
Right.
It got messages in there. And it just showed you you have a genuinely good kid who's trying to do right, who's sort of sucked into this world, even though he's not a part of it. He doesn't want to be a part of it. That's just the nature of the hood.
Even though it's because of where he is, even though he has everything that he needs.
Right. That's true. Like his father was supportive, even though, they were, his mom and his dad were separated. His father was still supportive, providing him with some guidance, reassurance. His girlfriend, played by Nia Long, she supported him throughout the way. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just kind of fall back into that space when you live in the hood. You can try to escape it, but you can't. So it was a solid movie. John Singleton always does his job.
Solid roles by Morris Chestnut, Ice Cube.
Ricky.
Very.
When he
very
got shot, though, I cried. It was a tear.
Yeah, it's a very impactful scene. That's like the first of its kind with that kind of movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, John Singleton, man, he's a legend.
Yeah, and Ice Cube was just he just killed that. You know what I'm saying?
It was natural to him.
Yeah.
Right.
It was just you saw the quote unquote criminal or whatever in him, but you also saw the love that he had for Ricky.
Yeah.
The human in him.
Yeah. Like he had love for Ricky. He was protective of Ricky, and even with all he did, he still, kind of failed in that regard. I guess in his eyes.
And another thing, after doing that film, he did Friday because he wanted a film set in the hood that kind of had like a lighthearted tone to it. He says not everything is sad in the hood.
Yes.
Because everybody was going off that didn't live in the hood. Everybody was going off Boys in the Hood. So he said he wanted to bring Friday to bring a lighthearted tone to it.
Yeah. So what about you, Ant?
So we at 10?
Yeah.
All right, look. Listen to me, all right? Drive. All right,
yeah.
So look, Drive to me, it was kind of a milestone because I always knew Ryan Gosling had talent. I always knew he was a talented actor. But with this movie, like that was like the first role where I saw him play like the strong, silent type. Because I always looked at him as like, he's the eye candy on stage.
Right.
But I think like that was a nuanced role for him because he barely says anything. He talks, but he's kind of like the shy guy who's like a driver, but also like a hitman. And like the movie is strange, but I like the way it captures an 80s vibe in a present day setting. And it shows like the nightlife of LA. I really like the way Drive was made, so I got Drive.
And Ryan Gosling is your favorite actor. So,
Well, I mean, he's one of my favorites.
So he was like better than Denzel.
Right.
I never said.
Still
See,
can't-
hold
still
up.
can't get over
Hold
that.
up. I know she's just messing with me, but I never said he was better than Denzel. I
You
said
said
with
his-
time he could be up there with Denzel.
I think I heard differently.
I know I never said that, man. We can replay the clip. I hope that TV works, man. We can replay the episode.
Oh man. Number 9. I chose Friday.
Okay.
So for all the reasons we explained, that's why I chose Friday.
Okay, hold up. We gotta hit the
I'm
bell
sorry.
every number, bro.
Okay.
That's all right.
So 9, you got Friday for you.
Yep.
My number 9 is Bamboozled.
Oh yeah.
Bamboozle's good.
Although, all right, go ahead. So you can do your thing.
It's the only Spike Lee movie on my list. But the initial, and I saw this in high school, and like the initial impact that it had on me, it just made everything click.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is why certain things are on TV. This is why. This is like it. Like it was an over exaggeration. The TV show that they had, but I think that was what was like necessary to get the message across. Yeah. And the first time I watched it with a friend who wasn't necessarily deep.
Yeah.
And she was just like, "Oh my God!" Like, "Oh my God, this movie is so deep." And we had a conversation for about maybe 2 or 3 hours, and we 15 years old,
Wow.
about certain things that are on television and things like that. Like after the movie went off.
Yeah.
I feel like with a movie like that, and I know Ryan, I know you was about to say something, Eric. What was you about to say?
I was gonna say, out of the Spike Lee movies, the way that it was filmed was kind of strange to me. I didn't like that part about it, but again, the message was there. But that was my only pet peeve with that.
I loved how Jada Pinkett was the voice of reason.
Yeah.
Even when he didn't listen, even when Damon Wayans, the main character, didn't listen to her.
Yeah. But I will on that too, real quick. The idea of him looking to get fired, like he was just like
He was trying to get fired. Like he wanted to make the worst show. The most offensive show
And then
ever.
it traveled.
Right, but that's because we love stuff like that. It's just American nature.
I mean, I feel the film like it just bringing the minstrel show back into into a satire frame like that. I feel like Spike Lee was just on the nose. Damon Wayans' performance was great. Like the way he just changed his voice, like the whole film, to sound what's his name, Delacroix.
Delacroix.
And I love the scenes with Paul Mooney on stage,
Yeah.
where he's telling his humor and like off stage, like he's like a father that kind of like was never really there for Damon Wayans' character, and they got like those little simple moments between each other. Yeah, I love Bamboozle.
And the whole, I don't know if y'all knew, but even with blackface in the minstrel period, there were black performers doing that. Like that was the thing. And that brings it to the context of like whatever the audience wants, right? Whatever the society thinks is important, you got to kind of conform to it.
The Roots did an awesome job.
Yeah.
The Roots were in there.
Yeah.
They were the house band.
Yeah.
Most Def was in there.
Most Def,
Most Def was,
Charlie Baltimore, MC Search,
Yeah.
Michael Rappaport.
Michael
He's in
Rappaport.
everything. My guy. All right.
So that was 10 we just did.
That was 9.
9.
Oh, that was 9. Okay, 9 to me, one of the best action films of all time.
Okay.
Heat.
Man, that gun scene was a cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, man. Michael Mann, one of the best action directors of all time. You got Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. Like, not the first film they were in together, because they were in The Godfather Part 2, but the first film where they acted together side by side. You know, and there's a scene in the middle with this diner scene where they both kind of confront each other. That's like one of the best scenes ever, just because of the acting. Mm-hmm. You got a man who's a robber, a man who's a cop, who in another life, if they didn't have these careers, they'd probably be old friends. And it's just like, I just love the way this movie is told. It's a simple story, you know, basically cop chasing the robber, but it's not told in a simple way. It's told in an epic way. Have you seen Heat?
I haven't seen Heat. Nope.
Man, borrow this, man. borrow this and watch this, man.
You gotta see this.
You gotta see
That's
Heat.
the 90s, man. You gotta watch Heat.
You
man.
gotta see Heat.
Okay.
I knew why I brought these for a reason.
All right, on to 8. All right, so for number 8, I chose Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
I still gotta peep that one.
Saving Private, it's a solid one.
Classic.
It's a classic. So this came out in 1998. One of the first probably like war movies I saw. I was 8 years old at the time, so you gotta give me some slack.
No.
But so it's Tom Hanks. He's basically taking his guys behind enemy lines to find James Ryan, who was one of the 3 brothers who were lost in combat. And he's kind of just going through this whole them trying to find him, and then like the war scenes and it's just gruesome. It was.
You gotta get to the why. Why are they trying to save Private Ryan?
They try. Hold on, let me fit in my recap. So, I'm gonna give you a recap. So, Captain John Miller takes his men behind enemy lines to find Private James Ryan, whose 3 brothers have been killed in combat. Surrounded by the brutal realities of war, while searching for Ryan, each man embarks upon a personal journey and discovers their own strengths to triumph over an uncertain future with horror, decency, and courage.
Like that scene.
It was
like
it was
made
rough.
me like the scene where they were typing up the letters. That kind of made me emotional because it's like, wow, like we're about to report this bad news to this mother, like that she's lost her multiple kids.
But it's the reality of that time. Like, think about how many kids. These were young boys who like 18 years old, fresh out of school, like who were thrown into pretty much death. Like this is uncertain. You're pretty much going to die if you go there for the most part. And just like seeing some of the gruesomeness, like
that scene on the beach.
The scene on the beach was horrible, and it just had me like just anxious. I'm just sitting there, just like, God.
I mean, Spielberg, he's another GOAT of filmmaking. I feel like he's at his underrated best when he gets grim. So like, I love Schindler's List and I love Munich, both films where he gets grim and like in his depictions of like the violence and like political violence too.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Schindler's List on this, but I didn't.
It's a powerful movie.
It is. It's a really good one.
But I'm gonna check that one out, man. That's one of those classics I still haven't seen yet.
Who wants to go next? We're number 8.
Number 8. Okay, I got this one. Classic right here. No Country for Old Men.
You know what? That was a good one. I wouldn't put it in my top 15, but it was a good one. I saw it.
Yeah.
It was solid.
Yeah, man. When I saw this movie, originally, allegedly, my mom and I saw this like on bootleg.
Allegedly.
But the thing was, the film was so good, we ran out to the theater the next day.
You did?
Yeah, we ran out to the theater the next day. We said this movie's too good to just watch at home. And the Coen brothers made it. Coen brothers are amazing.
Yeah.
Javier Bardem, probably his best role in his career. One of his best. I gotta give him his just due. He's a great actor. Yeah, man. It's simple plot. Homeboy was walking around trying to hunt. Should have minded his business. Came across a bag of money. Got hunted down. Well, I don't want to give away the ending, but he got hunted down by a man that's just has no emotion whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
And it's just one of the best films ever, man. You got Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, Tommy Lee Jones, Woody Harrelson, Kelly McDonald from Boardwalk Empire. It's just a great list, great cast.
How come I can never find a bag of money just sitting somewhere?
Because you might have a Anton Chigurh chasing after you, bro. That's why.
I mean, I don't care.
Okay. My number 8 is Godfather 2.
Okay.
It's probably one of, if not the only sequel that's, in my opinion, better than the original.
What about Terminator 2 though?
Right. What about
Terminator
what about
2
Rocky
is better
2?
than the original.
Aliens.
No.
Well,
That's
man,
debatable. Like
they're both up there. They're both up there.
Star
Alien and
Wars. Well,
Aliens. Empire Strikes Back is good.
yeah.
But yeah, I agree.
But yeah, so yeah, Godfather 2. I didn't see the Godfather series until about 2000. I bought the series as a gift to my dad, not knowing, like, is this something that you even really wanted? Just thought it was cool. It came in a cool leather box.
Right.
So I just decided to sit down and watch it one day. So I watched Godfather 1. Yeah, this is good. This is great. But then I watched Godfather 2. I'm like, oh, I love this movie. Like, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, like, did their thing. Diane Keaton, like the guy that played the little brother.
John Cazale. Oh, you talking about Sonny?
Yep, Sonny. Yep.
Yeah. That's James
like,
Caan.
He's such a fuck up, and I kind of feel like
And Fredo.
Fredo. I kind of feel like D'Angelo Barksdale's kind of modeled after Fredo, like on The Wire.
Oh.
D'Angelo.
The Avon Barksdale's little brother.
Oh yeah. Well, he wasn't as slow as Fredo, but yeah, he was modeled after that a little bit.
I can't tell you how many Godfather teas I seen growing up. Like everybody had the Godfather.
My mom loves that movie because the film, it goes by. I'm mostly talking about the first and the second one. It goes by like sweet wine. It goes down slow. It takes its time to get with the story. Like that wedding scene was probably like 20 minutes long. Talking about the first one, but yeah, I love both of those films. Yeah.
Awesome. Where we at now?
7.
All right, for number 7, I went with Black Panther.
Okay.
And we really don't even need to talk about Black Panther.
We had a whole episode.
We had a whole episode. But yeah, Ryan Coogler's was it third film? No. Shoot, second.
I want to say third because there's Fruitvale Station, Creed, and then
this
Creed.
is his third film.
Third film, yeah, solid. Loved everything about it.
Cinematography.
Cinematography is
costume
amazing.
Design.
Yes, they definitely killed it with the costumes for sure.
Everything but Forrest Whitaker's accent.
Yeah, that was a little messed up. Yeah.
Wait,
He tried.
did I skip 12?
Wait, what?
Wait, did you skip 12? Hold on.
What was your number 12?
Oh, The Dark Knight.
You did.
Oh, you skipped.
Wow.
How did you
So
skip
you
So you just
whole
now
nother-
noticed that.
How did you
I don't know,
skip
man.
12?
I didn't know I skipped 12. But I mean, Dark Knight's a great movie. Heath Ledger was great. We can go back to what you were talking about with Black
Yes.
Panther.
Yeah, just great movie, great action movie. One of my favorite Marvel movies so far. One of the favorite Marvel movies.
You can say it, man. It's
One.
nuanced, man. If it's your favorite, say it's your
Right.
favorite.
But yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. Where we at? 7?
7.
Okay. Classic film. Just a film about life, really. The Color Purple.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love The Color Purple,
Yeah.
man. Just like the cast, the directing. I still got to read the original novel, but
Oprah did her thing, right?
it doesn't come off as a Steven Spielberg movie. It just is a movie. Like, it's a black movie, but it's a movie, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like he captured the essence of the story really well. You got Danny Glover, Whoopi, Oprah, Lawrence Fishburne, Ray Dawn Chong, Margaret Avery. You got just a list of just hard hitters in that film. Star-making film for everybody. I mean, everybody in that movie. Yeah, I love The Color Purple, man. It's powerful, it's dramatic, it's funny, it's life.
Yeah.
7. We're on 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on
Okay.
7.
My number 7 is Men's to Society.
Yes.
Men's to
That's a
Society.
good one. That's a good one.
I think within the context of the time, it was like when you look at it within the context of what was going on in LA at the time that the movie was made, it just makes it an even better movie to me.
Yeah.
Lorenz Tate
Killed it.
Killed it.
Yeah.
So
That's a good
I
movie.
there's a lot of quotables in that movie too.
That film starts off raw. Like, the
Serious.
opening
Yes.
scene in the convenience store. Like, goodness.
Which I kind of think was like a play off of the, the incident that happened with, I can't remember her name, with the
Talking about with the Asian
Oh,
cashier
with
that
that-
shot the lady.
that shot the
Yeah,
girl.
I
That
remember.
shot the girl.
Yeah.
Got her name.
So that's why I said when you look at it within the context of the time period where the movie was made, that makes it like that makes me love the film even more.
I just remember when he was hopping over the fence, got shot in the back with the shotgun.
So there's always the age-old argument about Menace versus Boys in the Hood, and I think Boys in the Hood brings more hope.
Yeah.
It's more optimistic. Menace to Society is more like straight up, this is what it is. It's up to you if you want to change, but this is what it is.
And then don't be a menace to South Central while drinking juice in the hood.
Yeah,
That was a good one.
that's a good comedy.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, Menace to Society is great, man.
All right, let's move on.
Number 6.
Number 6, Good Will Hunting.
Okay.
Solid movie, very solid
Yes,
movie.
I love. I'm just a huge fan of Robin Williams. Like his acting is amazing.
Yeah.
Matt Damon's their Boston accents. They're from Boston.
They're from Boston.
But it was kind of over exaggerated Boston accents. But
Matt and Ben wrote that movie.
they did. They did.
Yeah.
So basically, Will Hunting, he has a genius level IQ, but he's working as a janitor at MIT. He solves this equation on the board. They're trying to figure out like who did it. So they're going through all the students like, oh, did you solve this equation? And then they found out that Matt Damon's character did it. And so he was working under. Well, first off, he was working under a professor.
Peter Sarsgaard.
Yeah, Peter Sarsgaard, who said that he needs to talk to a psychiatrist, which was Robin Williams' character. And it just talks about this whole dynamics between Robin Williams' character, Matt Damon, and just sort of figuring out who he is, what he wants to do in his life and where he wants to be. So it was good.
That's a very good movie, man.
Yeah, solid movie.
And you had Minnie Driver in that too.
Yep.
You did, yeah.
And you had Casey Affleck in there.
Forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, that's a solid movie, man. Any other notes on that one?
Nope, that's it for me.
Okay.
My number 6 is Lean on Me.
Oh.
You like crack, boy? You
Smoke
like
crack, don't you?
You smoke
Don't you
crack,
just
don't
jump
you?
off the business
Very
and kill yourself more
sad.
expeditiously. Like, I had to
Go
look
to
that up.
jump.
This is back in the day where we didn't have computer. I had to look up expeditiously in the dictionary.
I had to look it up too.
And then that whole scene where he was arguing with his boss, like, I'm the HNIC.
And
let's
the
go
guy's like,
let's go get something to eat. Like, that's how we apologize to
For
each
real.
other. Like, let's go get some drinks. Let's go. Like, we'll say something like kind of
yeah.
mean or disrespectful to each other. Then let's go get something to eat.
I love the one scene where the one professor, the white professor, is like, "What does HNIC mean?" Lady's like, "Head nigga in charge, man." Like,
Oh, man, that's such a good movie.
that is a great movie, man. It's one of
Seriously.
Morgan Freeman's best performances.
Yes.
Does
yes.
Morgan Freeman, was he ever young, though? I swear.
He was young. He was.
Oh.
He
It's
was
just,
younger
it's
and
just
lean
not-
on me.
it's just not documented, but
Right.
he was young. He was young.
Where'd you learn that song? Who's all to you?
Hey, son.
Hey, son.
Ah.
Come on, man, sing it. I love that film. No, that should have been on my list. That's a great movie, man.
All right, Ant, it's on you.
It's a no-brainer, man. I got Goodfellas,
Okay.
Yeah, Goodfellas is good, yeah.
which to me, I mean, any film could be your favorite Martin Scorsese film, but this is my favorite Martin Scorsese film. You know, I just feel like again, another film I snuck and watched. My
Yeah.
mom didn't want me to see. Joe Pesci, again, volatile, but playing a great volatile role. Robert De Niro as the OG gangster. Ray Liotta, one of his best roles.
Snitch.
Lorraine Brasco, as
Yeah.
Ray Liotta's girlfriend, another great actor. Paul Sorvino. I can go down a list of great actors in this movie. Samuel Jackson was in this movie. Goodfellas, it goes hard and fast, but it's long, and it's just a great mob film, man. And it's a great film.
Awesome. All right,
Number 5.
Number five, I got The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, you got Gary Oldman, you got Aaron Eckhart, Christian Bale, Heath Ledger.
I can't get over Christian Bale's voice though.
Yeah.
I hate. Oh,
Yeah, his voice was the.
I hate when
And it was
he changes it.
serve victory. Come on, man. It's not
But
that
it was
deep.
one scene where Two-Face, he was in the hospital.
Oh yeah, Aaron Eckhart, he killed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Heath Ledger's character, his eyes were open. He was literally awake. Heath Ledger's character came in with like a surgical mask over his face, dressed up like a nurse,
Right.
with the paint. Like, this is, the Joker.
Right.
He was like, oh. He just startled by looking at him. Like, no, you know who it is. But yeah, solid man. Heath Ledger, he killed it.
Yeah, he killed
He
it.
killed it, man. Last film that he had, that was sad.
That's one of those few roles where an actor kind of gives up his life for a role. I mean, we don't know what was going on, but we know that the Joker takes a lot out of you. Even Jack Nicholson said it.
Whew. Yeah, solid.
Yeah, I love The Dark Knight.
Next.
All right.
Oh, you go ahead.
All right, I already said my 6.
No, 5.
Five.
Oh, we're at 5. Oh, 5. My 5 is I'm trying to make sure I don't miss nothing, Randy. Don't laugh at me.
You already
man.
missed 12.
Yeah. 5 is Crooklyn.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, when that dog popped out the couch.
Yeah, man. Probably my second favorite Spike Lee movie,
Okay.
man. I feel like this film spoke to my childhood a little bit. Even though I'm an only child, I just love the thought of I love the scenes where they're out playing in the street because that connected to me playing with my friends out in the street.
Yeah.
The young girl that was in the starring role was great. Alfre Woodard,
Yeah.
Delroy Lindo. You had Isaiah Washington. Just a great list of cast in this film. Yeah, man, I felt like this film spoke to the era that Spike Lee was speaking to, which I think was the early 70s, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
You go from Brooklyn to North Carolina, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the little girl had lived with her aunt and uncle for a while. And I just felt like it's a coming-of-age film, and I think like Spike Lee
But
did it very well.
that is like a lost part of our culture.
Yeah.
The whole living up north and then going down south.
Yeah.
Because now everybody just lives in one spot now, whereas opposed to, everybody, some of your family stayed in the south and then some of your family moved up north, but you would go visit.
Yeah.
And that's definitely like a lost part of our culture, especially like trusting, like loving and knowing a family member so much that you would send your child down here.
And
You don't see that no more.
My dad's from the South. We used to travel to North Carolina because that's where he grew up.
Yeah, we went to Tennessee all the time. On family vacations.
I went to Alabama one time.
This film spoke to me,
Take
man.
me back
I
to
really love
Detroit.
Crooklyn.
And I just love the way that Spike Lee directs. Like, the whole scene where she huffed the paint and she was like just gliding down the street.
Right, she got high.
Right.
That was hilarious.
That's hilarious, yeah.
The convenience store scene when the woman's like dancing. Like,
I ain't no punta.
It's just a lively movie, man. It's lively.
All right. Did you go?
This is number 5.
Yeah, 5.
The Lion King.
I was going to put that in there.
This is
I
the
decided
only
not to.
animated film in my top 15.
Yeah.
I got one too, yeah.
But I love everything about this film.
agree.
I love the soundtrack. I love the stage play. I love that soundtrack. I
Yeah.
love everything about.
And
The
you're gonna
Lion
love
King.
the remake.
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, I don't know.
Didn't you like the Jungle Book? Jungle Book remake was solid.
It was good.
I
It was
want to
good.
see Dumbo tomorrow.
Oh, I want to see that. Oh, my God.
I fear that that's a musical. I don't want to see it. I like
Randy's like, nope.
Listen, I like Tim Burton, but listen,
I didn't like the original Dumbo cartoon, so I have no interest in seeing this new Dumbo remake.
I need something to do, Randy.
I mean,
Right.
The Lion King is a great film, man. You
It
know,
is.
Hamlet with lions.
Yep.
definitely. You know, you got Mufasa, you got Scar. Actors, you got Matthew Broderick, you got Nathan Lane. Who else we got here? James Earl Jones.
Yep. The little kid from,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Yep. That's his name.
I love Tom Cruise.
Great voice actors,
Awesome.
great story. One of Disney's favorite, best animated films.
Agreed. 4.
4. And I look at the
All
time.
right, we on the top 5. Let's go. All right,
top 4.
We got to rush through this.
We're on 4 right now.
I know where we at.
All right.
man.
I said
Randy's like,
Avengers
"Your ass
Infinity
can't
War.
count."
Right. Avengers Infinity War.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out if I wanted to keep it like broad, like the Avengers series, but I like this one. I like sort of
It's
the
a ballsy
Thanos,
ending.
the Thanos character. Yeah, right. The villain actually wins at the end. I kind of like that.
All right.
You know,
I love
yeah.
how Endgame doesn't show you what's gonna happen. I
know.
love it.
I can't wait to see it again.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, it's a ballsy ending, man. That
Yeah.
probably is one of the best Avengers films for the ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm a rush through. I got number 4, Hoop Dreams.
Okay.
Oh, I should have.
I didn't know we could put
real?
documentaries in.
I mean, it's a film. It's a film.
guess
You
you-
know. So, you know, it's
my list would have been all documentaries.
Oh.
I didn't know we could put horror films in.
Randy, stop, Randy.
But that is like literally like the best.
It's the
I
best,
love
one
Hoop-
of the best
I love Hoop
documentaries
Dreams.
I ever seen, man. Because I thought,
Seriously.
listen, I'm glad y'all know about this film. Man.
Yes.
You follow 2 kids who want to be the next Michael Jordan or Isaiah Thomas through middle school to high school, and it's just one of the great films of all time. And the Criterion DVD I got has kind of like a life after documentary where it follows up with the kids as to how they're living today.
I like that.
It's a great movie, man.
Cool.
All right. So what's your 4?
The Departed.
Part is great.
yeah.
Another great Scorsese film,
The
man.
Departed.
That's what 4 Scorsese films, I think.
And it's like you start off with hope.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's like, God,
Like, nope.
damn. Like,
For real.
Everybody got in that movie.
everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody got
real.
but like, you
Spoiler
just-
alert. But I mean,
But it's just like you know, you have a little hope. The Leonardo DiCaprio plays a character torn in between two worlds, and he's a cop,
right.
and it's just like you have hope. Like he's found love, and it just ends bad. It's terrible.
Yeah.
He dies.
Yeah.
What's that? His baby.
The ending scene.
What's
was-
that? His baby.
Listen, the
I
ending
don't
scene is
think-
amazing.
no.
Just-
Because
I don't
Matt
know.
couldn't get
I
it
don't know.
up.
You're right.
Because Matt couldn't get it up. Matt's character couldn't get it up. So was that his baby?
I
But
don't
what
know,
if he-
but like the ending imagery is amazing, man. How you
Oh,
go
for
to
sure.
you go to the windowsill and you got the rat, like the literal rat, right by the Capitol building. It's like that ending imagery. Like Scorsese's the GOAT, man.
And Matt Damon did his thing. Like
Yeah,
I
he
don't
did.
like his character. Like I don't like the character, but like he did his thing like that. That whole thing.
Everybody was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody was great.
Nicholson, you had my
Oh, yeah.
man who was in Beowulf. I forgot his name, Ray Winstone. Everybody did their thing. Mark Wahlberg, even.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, we got to run through this.
All right, 3.
3.
I'm gonna go, man.
I got. Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna make it sweet, man. Finding Nemo, bro.
Go ahead.
It's one of my favorite Pixar.
that's a good
It's
one.
probably
Okay.
my favorite Pixar film,
That's a
man.
good
It's in my heart. Ellen DeGeneres, Albert Brooks, they did their thing. Heartwarming, funny, everything.
Awesome. I got Get Out, freshman film by Jordan Peele.
Okay.
Okay.
Definitely challenged our preconceptions of what horror movies look like. I
Okay.
liked it. Yeah, keep it at that.
My number 3 is also a horror movie. It's old as hell. It's Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Okay, I remember that one.
It's a
Let me see that.
movie with
Barely.
Betty Davis and Joan Crawford.
Never seen that.
Ryan Murphy made a series about that.
Yeah, just a short synopsis. Joan Crawford, Betty Davis was this famous child actress in her youth, but Joan Crawford is her sister, and then she kind of outpaces her as far as acting goes. And then one night, an accident happened. Joan Crawford's character ends up paralyzed and in a wheelchair, and Betty Davis's character is taking care of her. It's kind of like Misery,
Yeah.
where she's
I like
abusive
Misery.
to her and things like that. And then like the twist at the end where the whole movie, like Joan Crawford's all innocent. She's in a wheelchair. She's disabled.
Right.
But at the end, Joan Crawford's character confesses that she tried to kill her and then end up paralyzing herself. And then Betty Davis's character was like, damn, that means we could have been friends this whole time.
Wow.
Did you ever
Wow.
watch Feud?
No.
You should watch Feud because it talks about the feud that Bet Davis and Joan Crawford had behind the scenes.
And I think that what kind of like made the movie, because they were like they weren't overacting, but they were trying to outact each other.
Right.
Like, so,
That could be
yeah,
a
that's
bad
like,
thing.
that's top
Right.
3. Like, I love that movie. Love it.
Okay, so we got 2 and 1. We can say it all at the same time.
Okay.
All right, Pulp Fiction, 2.
To
Okay. What's your
Boys
one?
in the
And
Hood.
then, sorry, Pulp Fiction, then Training Day for number 1.
Okay.
Training Day.
Yes, that's my favorite. That's just like a personal favorite of mine.
Okay.
You said personal favorites. Like,
All right.
Why aren't you making number 1 special?
Right. That's
save
why
it.
I'm like, that's
No.
why 2 and then 1.
Because it's something
Man, you the one
it's a
over here
movie that I
going
like.
this, man. Like,
Yeah, but you can do it in order.
yes.
Okay.
Thank
All right.
Whether you say 2-2-2 or 2-1-2-1-2-1, it's the same amount of time.
okay,
Right.
let's reflect on Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Probably Quentin Tarantino's best
right.
film.
Yeah, John
Objectively.
Travolta, Sam Jackson, Uma Thurman, Ving Rhames.
So Pulp Fiction was your number 1?
no, number
No, 2. And number 1 was
I like Training Day. Training Day is like I just love that movie. I mean, is it wrong that I love Training Day or
No.
something?
Man, this is subjective,
All right,
man.
all right.
If you love Training, I don't care if Biodome is your number 1.
That movie
I
was
just love
fucking
Denzel's.
terrible.
But I love Denzel's acting in that. He did an amazing job.
He killed it. Yeah, because of Pulp Fiction, I try to like not say what so many times.
Right?
You know
What?
I'm saying? I try to think about what I'm saying. But yeah, I love
For real.
Training Day. Training Day was awesome. Ethan Hawke was great in that movie
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I got 2, Do the Right Thing. And y'all know what one is, man. Come on, man. Kill Bill.
Oh, yeah.
Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Kill Bill.
Which
I mean,
volume?
listen, man. I count them both as one.
No.
Can't.
I can't do that. All right. I say volume 2. Volume
Okay.
2 then. Look, man. I mean, that film to me is everything. It has like action, comedy, drama.
I love the music too.
Yeah, and Uma Thurman did her damn thing. Like, I can't believe she wasn't nominated. Quentin Tarantino's best film is Pulp Fiction, but that's like my favorite film, just for multiple reasons.
Right.
It's my keys. It's my keys. It's my keys. I get like that when I'm excited, though.
All right, so you got Shayna.
My number 2 is Boys in the Hood.
Okay.
My number 1 is Dead Presidents.
Oh,
wow.
No, my number 1 was not hard to come up with.
Yeah.
It was all the other ones, but Dead Presidents is my favorite movie. Like the Hughes brothers did their thing, the Rest Ted did their thing. Like the whole thing where like the war and the impact on the people in the war from the war when after they come home. I just love Dead Presidents and the soundtrack. Like the soundtrack is basically a compilation, but the order of the songs is just what made the soundtrack just like everything. So yep, Dead Presidents. My favorite movie of all time.
What you think about the ending?
I mean, you gotta go to jail, but
Right.
I mean, I feel I said the president, but Martin Sheen played the judge.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to hear that shit. Like,
Right.
okay, like I mean, I love everything about the film. I love the ending. I mean, but how else was it going to end?
Was it without parole or just life in prison? I forgot that ending.
I think it was like life. It was life in prison.
Okay, all right. Well, so that's parole. But yeah, that ending was raw, man. Like I
then
love
with
Keith David.
with the Isaac Hayes playing.
Yeah.
Keith David, Clifton Powell.
Clifton
one of his
Powell.
best roles,
Yeah.
actually.
For real.
Who else? We got Bookham Woodbine, who did his thing.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Chris Tucker.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Tucker.
You overdose? You overdose on
Their Presidents was a good
Nabushe
movie.
Wright.
Yeah, and Boucher, right.
Yeah.
that? Oh, y'all, this was fun. I
Just
enjoyed
took
this.
up the whole time, man. I told
Took
y'all this
the-
was a good idea.
the whole time. Y'all, this,
Imagine if we had 25, we had to pay Randy extra money.
right. We had to go an hour over. But y'all, this is great. Anything closing? Want to wrap up or?
Yeah, I say comment, give feedback. Let us know what your top 10 to 15 favorite movies are. You know what I mean? Like and share. That's all I got. And this is nuanced, man. This is subjective. You know, we're not saying these are the best films of all time. These are the best films of all time to us.
Thank you all for listening. Please like and share.
Yeah, man, I worked hard on this list, man. Watch that today, bro.
I got to.
Heat is amazing.